The weakness of men. Isaiah 40, 1 through 5. Isaiah, he proclaims to the people of God. And what does he say? Well, he tells them, one, that God is willing to forgive their sins, and after they come back from exile to the other country. God, wow, he is almighty, and he is able to save his people. Secondly, he will show his glory to all people all around the world to see. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. How do we have hope of salvation? I mean, how do we know to trust, to look to salvation, what to trust in? How do we know? Well, we know to trust in the Lord because the Lord God is almighty to save. He is the only one who can save us. Isaiah compares weakness of the people. He compares it to something. What is it? Well, it's to the grass and the flowers. Grass and flowers, they tend to grow for a season, for a short time, and then they decay. All flesh is grass, and all its beauty is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, the flower fades when the breath of the Lord blows on it. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God will stand forever. That's the same with us humans. We're temporary. We're not permanent here on this earth. We grow for 20 years, maybe 30, 40, or 50, 60, 70, then we're gone. Just like the wind. And all of this, it all happens under God's sovereignty. What does God do? He blows, and just like the plants are gone, so are we. The grass withers, the flower fades when the breath of the Lord blows on it. In Isaiah 40, 6 through 8, there's two messages that God gives to his people through Isaiah for after they come back from exile. Number one is that the people of Israel and the people of Judah, they must realize that they're weak. And they can't support themselves and depend on themselves for salvation apart from God. They can't. And then secondly, they need to not trust in earthly things, earthly powers or authorities to redeem them. Why? Why not? Well, it's because they're the same as the grass and the flowers, and the same as us. They're temporary and they're gone, blown away. Well, instead, what do? Well, we must trust in God alone. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God will stand forever. God's promises, they're not the same as our promises. God's promises are sure. They are permanent, and we can depend on them. Man's promises, they're not sure. They change. They're gone. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord God is an everlasting rock. We should trust in the Lord's promises alone for salvation. Trusting in the Lord's Word, the Bible, that means that we trust in Him. Matthew Henry, he's a preacher from a long time ago, and he explains about this kind of trust. He says that we must be convinced that the Word of the Lord can do that for us which all flesh cannot. Isaiah, he called the people to go and join the Lord in His plan for the world. Well, who are they? Who are those people? Well, they're the people who recognize that they need God. Isaiah told them, he said, go to the high mountains and he'll proclaim to the people who love the Lord that He is coming. He is coming nearer, and He can lead them and protect them. Go on up to a high mountain, O Zion, herald of good news. Lift up your voice with strength, O Jerusalem, herald of good news. Lift it up, fear not. Say to the cities of Judah, behold your God. Behold, the Lord God comes with might, and his arm rules for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his recompense before him. He will tend his flock like a shepherd. He will gather the lambs in his arms and carry them in his bosom, and gently lead those that are with young. They should obey by proclaiming God to the whole covenant community of Israel and then to the world. Now let's apply this to our Christian life today. If we trust in the Lord that He is immortal, that He will never die, and we trust in Him and His Word that it is sure, and that He will save us, the only one to save us for eternity, we believe in Him alone. Just as the children of Israel did, the children of Jacob trusted in the Lord alone for salvation, not depending on any other thing or person or the law, nothing else. In God alone. There's no other place, no other person, no other thing to put our trust in for salvation. Nothing. Islam, that's the religion of the Muslims. And they believe that their God, Allah, is one God. Allah is one God, and the one true God we know is a triune God. Which should we believe in, the triune God or Allah? Well, in their religion, they believe it's very strict that Allah is singular, not plural, period. No. One God. They do not believe that Jesus himself is God. Now, the word spread through a man named Muhammad. He was a man, just like us. The gospel was spread through the prophets of the New and the Old Testament that we know. Jesus himself was a prophet. Now, the Muslims, they believe that Jesus was a prophet also. But they do not believe that Jesus had a bodily resurrection from the dead. They don't believe that. Now, Muhammad, he died, and he didn't raise from the dead. Again, who should we trust in? Our triune God? Allah? Jesus rose from the dead. He rose to life. He proved that he is immortal. Triune God? That's who we should trust in. Yes. Allah? No. Muhammad died. He did not rise from the dead. He's the same as us. He's like the grass and the flowers that wither away and die. Same as us, just a man. No difference. Our triune God, Jesus proved it. He died and rose from the dead. Coram Deo.